Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 7, the last day in our 7-day upgrade. Thank you so much for giving me your time and energy and effort tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure for me to put these lessons together. It's been really fun. And part of the process for me is getting all of the thoughts and concepts aligned so that I have a really good contents page to write from as I am writing the happiness recipe, which will be my next kind of full-length published book coming out later this year or early next year. So it's been really, really good to workshop the content of the happiness recipe live, as I have done for a few years. And putting this together has been really fun too, because it's made me really join the concepts up in a way that makes sense for delivery. So you have all helped me write a better book. So thank you to you all. Good morning, Jan. Okay, so as I said yesterday, hello, today is going to be about thoughts and your mind in general. So similar to happiness, I've got a bit of my book that I'm getting there to hold up in a second. Good morning, Debbie. Now, our mind and our thoughts are kind of like a chainsaw. It's an incredibly useful tool, this ability to think and have beliefs. It means we're not arriving in the world having to understand what everything means every second of the day. We have data, we're able to think, we're able to decide how we do things. It allows us to live consciously with a lot less effort, so fantastically useful. And our mind also joins data together and makes decisions. When you're teaching a little baby how to talk and you go, doggy, 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 enough times, they're able to see a dog that's quite a different size and shape and know it's not a cat. You don't need to expose a child to every type of dog in order to know. The unconscious mind joins and groups data together. Same with flowers, flower, 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 and our minds join groups of data together and make decisions. And this just makes learning languages, learning life really easy. And if you've had now some practice at a negative mindset that doesn't make you feel great, it makes it easier again to shift and learn that new language of positive thinking. So it is working for you. And in that one-on-one work I do, sometimes what we need to do is drop into those unconscious decisions where we've grouped data together and somehow come up with I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy or all sorts of other belief systems that aren't useful. We need to kind of get in there and do some pruning and repurpose that thought energy in another direction. And that's one of the many things that we can do when we get individualized. But today I want to talk about thoughts, and I was talking about being a chainsaw. So a chainsaw is an incredibly useful tool in the hands of someone who knows how to use one. So let's imagine you're living in a forest and you know how to use your chainsaw. You can go into your backyard and chop fallen trees, and the chainsaw is a useful tool to keep you warm all winter. It's a pretty amazing thing. The chainsaw in the hands of someone that doesn't know how to use it, people are going to be losing limbs, and let's not even create those visuals. Like, it's a scary thing. So the mind is similar. It is a tool, and we can learn to use it by understanding how it works and by using it intentionally. We wouldn't want a chainsaw to just be on whizzing around the garden. And honestly, you do not want your brain on churning out unconscious stuff, especially if it's anything other than you are magnificent and you can live the life of your dreams. And let's plan that action now. If it's churning out that, fantastic. But if it's not, you really need to rein that sucker in. And so I want to talk about that today. Now, good morning, Jodie. How we think generates how we feel. Now, this might seem really, really simple, but embedded into the English language is the idea that emotions happen to us. I was hit with a wave of remorse. Like, remorse is this thing that wanders around and sometimes it hits people. Or I fell in love, like love's over there, and I fell in. There's lots of examples of it, but it's really quite interesting. Whereas emotions are generated from the inside. If you've ever had someone have romantic feelings for you that you don't return, they're in friend zone for you, but you're in a bit of a different zone for them, there's nothing really that they can do to make you feel differently, because you feel how you feel. So there's some, obviously, in the nuances of each individual magnificent person, we need to workshop this, but as a general broad term, no one can make you feel anything. We generate our feelings with our thoughts. Let's do some examples. So let's talk first of all, that surface happiness, and let's do kind of surface thoughts. So if you thought right now, I don't encourage you to spend any time here, but if you thought now of something sad, if I talked to you about my last moments with my Nana before she passed away, and if I wasn't making a whole lot of effort not to drop into my body right now, there would be tears there. It was an emotional moment. If I think about the days that I birthed both my children, and I heard it described recently as the most amazing blind date ever, because you already know you're going to love who you meet. And again, if I dropped in and really felt, this is harder not to drop in and feel, my heart opened on that day to a deep love both times that I just didn't even know I was capable of. When I think about those events, even though they were 10 and 15 years ago, the emotion is there. What I think about creates my feelings. If you have a bit of a sexy thought about someone that you're attracted to, your body can respond if you drop in and feel it and create the hormones and create the reactions. Yeah. If you've got a holiday you've been looking forward to for 2 years and you're at the airport and you're thinking about all the stuff you're going to do, it's a different thing than if you're at the airport to say goodbye to someone that you're going to miss. You'll be thinking about missing them and you'll be feeling something. If you're thinking about this awesome holiday, you'll be feeling something. So this is one of the core building blocks to sitting at cause rather than effect. When we're blaming someone else or something else for how we feel, we've pretty much handed our power away. So what we think about all day long will generate how we feel all day long. I go into this, the first 5 chapters of my book are about this whole concept. So diving in and you can work through it. So there's more, don't feel like you've got to grasp it right this second, but just understand it as a concept. Now, how we feel generates how we act, how we react, how we respond, and kind of our behavior and choices. Oh, good morning, Dave. So if we're feeling excited about the holiday I was talking about before, then we're going to make kind of uplifted decisions. Some people who are quite excited about something, they might make a decision that they wouldn't make if they were feeling very somber. If someone is feeling rejected by somebody, let's say, hi Dave, let's say you're walking down the street and you see a friend of a friend that you quite like, and you kind of wave and they ignore you. You might kind of go, oh my goodness, they ignore me. You might make it mean all these things. You're thinking all these things, having that perception, and so you're feeling a certain way. The way you react when you see them next will come from that feeling. If you look at them walking down the street, they don't see you, and you make it mean, oh, they must be so busy, or oh, I adore her, but she's a bit scatty, she's not paying attention. Isn't she gorgeous? Next time you see her, you'll have this fun story of, I tried to say hello, but you were just lost in your own mind. The way you would react and the way that you would behave with that person would be different based on what you'd made made things mean, the thoughts that you'd had, and the feelings that you generated from thinking those thoughts. So what we think generates how we feel. How we feel in any given moment generates how we act and react and behave. And how we've acted and reacted and behaved over our life gives us now. The now that you're in, where your relationships are at, where all your circumstances are the end results of all of your choices. And we kind of made those choices based on how we were feeling. And we end up back in, let's look at thoughts. Yeah, so thoughts, feelings, action, reactions, choices and now. So we can also go deeper with this as a concept and look at, okay, well, what thoughts have you got? What decisions have you made about yourself and about life? So let's say there's something that you might want to do. Like it might be, since we've been going through these lessons, and you think, oh, okay, I'm not really good at talking about how I feel. I want to change my relationships. I want to do that. But you've got this decision of, I'm no good at this. Right? So that's the thought. How's it going to make you feel? Now, we're never going to be good at anything that we haven't practiced. We only get good at what we practice. Now, some people who look naturally good at a particular thing, maybe they grew up with it. Maybe they had parents that did it. Maybe they had parents that role modeled how to do it. Maybe they've had opportunities to practice when they were younger and they've had more years of practice. So whatever it is that you want to do, have you spent the hours and hours needed to get the skill to be at a place where you can go, I am good at this? Because what we believe about ourselves and about life and what's possible will directly impact how much effort you put in. And how much effort you put in will directly impact the results you get. This is how it works. And the results that you get then feed back into the belief you had. So if you're like, I'm no good at this, so you put in a little bit of tentative effort because you pretty much think that you're no good at it, and the results that you get are kind of congruent with that tiny bit of effort as opposed to 150% effort because you come into it going, I am going to learn this, I'm going to do it well. So you get this little kind of, put in this little bit of effort, then you get this teensy result or no result, and it feeds back into, see, I'm no good at it. And this is how people stay in really, really unhelpful thoughts and beliefs about themselves and about life. And one of the things that I am so passionate about, I have to, dampen my passion sometimes so that I'm not like, rah! But I would just absolutely love, again, if I dropped in, there'd be tears, to shatter the illusion of disempowerment. It just isn't real that you don't have control over how you think and how you feel and how much effort you put into things. Now, sometimes there are limitations. If you ever see, I've been lucky enough to see some amazing speakers, and some of them are, para-Olympians. So, or they've overcome some physical, lack of physical thing that they didn't have. What a great sentence. So, if you've gone to war and lost your feet, yes, you can't be a foot model. So I'm not saying everyone can do everything, because that's just silly and ridiculous. But if you wanted to be a foot model, there'd be some reason why you wanted to be a foot model. What would you get out of it? What would it give you? What is the experience that you're wanting to create and you're wanting to experience? We can get that in another way by generating the beliefs and the thoughts and the structure around that and planning the effort, and the result will come in. So generally people are wanting a particular result, but what they're really wanting is the thought and the feeling and the energy and whatever that opens up. And we can generally create that in another way. So I hope that that makes sense. So surface thoughts, we can surface thoughts Surface happiness, there's lots of things that we can do about that. And those deeper thoughts about yourself and about life, there's lots we can do about that too. As an aside, I have got a couple of products that can help you with that I made. One back in 2009 and one a couple of years ago. These guys. Ta-da! So they're Sing Your Affirmations CDs that are designed to plant and fertilize really embodied positivity, gratitude, open up options, and they're done as songs because music bypasses conscious resistance. So we can sing a song and feel the feelings, because what we think generates how we feel, whether our conscious belief system thinks we're good enough or not. It's really amazing, right? So if you were to type my name into the search bar of anywhere that you get music, you'll see it on, Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, whatever, and there's free samples on all of those, including my own websites. Have a listen and see what you think. But that can help. I've seen amazing changes in my clients in the way that they talk about themselves, talk about life, process and digest emotion just from listening to, those CDs and affirmation meditations and things over time. This stuff's really powerful. So the book, the picture I was going to show you from my book, I might actually plant this in the comments, is this. I'm just sort of going back to what I was talking about before. This is a picture, I understand you can't read the words or anything, that talks about, okay, in here, this is hard backwards, that's an event. Going this way is how we interpret the event, like the person on the other side of the street that I was talking about. In the book, I talk about, your partner's come home late from work. So when we interpret an event, we make it mean something. We then have a whole lot of thinking about it. And that thinking generates how we feel about it. And how we feel about it generates how we behave inside of ourselves, what we believe is possible, how we respond to the person we've been thinking and feeling about, and how we think and feel over time creates our now. And this is a big picture about how if I interpret it, oh my goodness, if I interpret it this way, I'm going to end up feeling this. If I interpret it this way, I'm going to be feeling that. If I interpret it this way, I'm going to be feeling that. If I interpret it this way, I'm going to be feeling that. And some of you have been at workshops with me or sessions with me, and we've actually done this, and feel free to share your experiences. It's amazing when we shift our perception or when we take responsibility for our feelings. Wow, I've got myself into this feeling state. It's so much easier to communicate with someone without blaming them, just going, oh, when this happened, here's how I interpret it, or here's what it brought up for me, as opposed to, you make me feel, do you know what I mean? Which generally will create someone, trying to defend themselves, which kills curiosity and good communication. So your body, and that embodied wisdom, your mind and your energy are your tools for life. And you've got them on board all the time. The brain's pretty much working all the time, so you may as well learn how to use it and make it this amazing tool and resource for life. Investing in learning these kinds of things benefit and upgrade and uplift and nourish and resource the rest of your life. We don't unlearn these skills. We don't ever de-evolve. Just like you can't go back and wear the shoes that you wore in grade 2. Human beings, we grow and we evolve, and we might stop for a little while. And if we stop for long enough, we might feel stagnant and a bit icky. That's our body's feedback going, let's keep going, but we don't ever go backwards. So my book can absolutely help you. It's the manual that we didn't get for our body, our mind, and our energy, how they work separately and how they work synergistically interconnected together. And I wrote it for the purpose of helping you to never feel like you're not in charge of your life ever again. It's just a wonderful way to feel. I'm also available to work one-on-one with you if you feel like you want that total support, encouragement, new awarenesses that come from mentoring, coaching, guidance, healing, that ability to get through anything that you're carrying. with you rather than that old idea of getting over it. I bring so many tools to this work because I started learning tools to empower, nourish, and heal myself when I was 19, and I'm 42 now. And it has been because it's one of my primary values, something I've invested in year after year after year. So I come really resourced to help you get really resourced. If you are interested in exploring this with me, then you can just message me or email me and we'll book in a discovery session. These are free. And it's a chance for us to get really individual into your circumstances and see how I can help you. I never, ever would take on a client that I didn't know with my whole being that I can add value to. It's just not how I work. And so that's really important, those discovery calls, for you to get clear on what you want and how I work and how I can help. And they're also really important for me. And I'm lucky enough to have other professionals that I respect wholeheartedly that I can refer people on to if I know congruently that I'm not the right fit. So yeah, message me or email if you'd like to book a discovery call in and have that mutual exploration. And please, whether or not that feels like something right for you right now, just know that you are magnificent. You are in this amazingly fertile place to plant and nourish the seeds of whatever you want to grow in your life. Anything other than knowing that isn't true. And it's going to, your body, when you step out of knowing that, is going to give you feedback of blurk, I don't want to be there. The truth is that you're powerful, you're amazing, and you deserve to feel soul deep happiness and live congruently in alignment with all that you are. And please keep in touch. Please keep the conversation going and stay connected in, whatever I put out, because knowing other people that have got, that are like-hearted and like-minded is really, really important too. So you are magnificent. You are powerful. And your dreaming is your essence calling you forth to be what you came here to be, and it is possible. Thank you so much for giving me a week of lessons. These lessons are going to be up here in this group for at least a month. I'm about to go over to Maui and do some amazing retreat things over there, and I'll be just having the group open, and then I may turn it into a product or something like that on my website. But you'll be able to access all the lessons, go through things, still ask me questions, and please keep in touch. Okay, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, feeling into your power. Thanks for being here.